Okay, so in this section we're going to go through and actually install Windows 8.1 as a virtual machine. We're going to use this in the future courses to either be a target or to implement an attack. And so let's just jump right back into our Hyper-V manager. So you can see here we've got both our ethical hacking servers up and running. So I'm going to come over here and select I'd like to create a new virtual machine. Here comes our 4-hour wizard again. I'm going to call this one EH Windows 8.1, and I'm going to select to put this in a different location. I'm going to back up here to my CEH project folder under my VMs, select a folder, hit next. Again, a lot of similarities as we set these up as far as the same steps are concerned. We then are going to specify the memory. This one I might throw a little bit more RAM at just because I'm going to be running some apps on it as well as the Windows 7 box. So I'm going to throw a whopping 248 at this one. And I'm going to also hook it into my hacking network so it can communicate with those machines. And then again, here comes the virtual disk. It's going to create that VHDX file in the following directory structure area. And then specify the number, the amount of hard drive space. Again, just leaving the defaults all works perfectly for you here. And then I'm going to come in here and install this one, again, from an ISO, and that ISO is going to be, yes, thank you, Windows 8.1 trial. I'm going to hit next, finished. And now let's connect up to that bad boy and start her up so we can get her done. Okay, so the first thing is, again, confirming our language. We're going to go ahead and hit next. So I'm going to select to install now. Now, when we see Windows 8.1, a lot of people get confused or frustrated, and here's how I help you to get past that. I get it. I mean, I wasn't real thrilled about the interface initially as well. We refer to it as the Metro interface. Well, excuse me, officially we're supposed to call it the Modern UI interface. Let's go ahead and continue, and I'm going to continue talking to you while it still installs. We're going to specify again here a custom installation, select the total hard drive space available, and now we'll go down my lecture here of Windows 8.1. So they came out with this interface, and I get it. By the way, my idea, remember how Windows 7 was my idea? That whole marketing campaign? It was my idea. No, I'm kidding. My idea for Windows 8.1 8.0 and even 8.1 would have been, you know what, during installation, how about just ask the end user if A, this is a laptop or a tablet, and B, do you have a touch screen or not? And if you didn't have a tablet and you didn't have a touch screen, then it would just take you to the standard desktop. See, look, if Microsoft would just call me, I could save them billions. In fact, I should bill them. Now, so if you remember Windows 7, one of the coolest things about Windows 7 is that you can type what you want to do. And you'll see that, you saw that with Windows Server 2008. You're going to see me do this also with with Windows 7, is that I just type. I don't go searching for things inside of the menu system. If you follow that same concept, you'll feel much more comfortable inside of Windows 8.1. Just type what you want to do, because the Metro interface is just an interface to get you to the same consoles that you're going to see popping up on you. Okay, again, this is going to try to install some updates, but again, we don't have internet access, so it'll just go through that quickly. Now we're going to finish up and reboot. And again, we're going to see the famous green line go across. You can select to restart now, or you could continue talking like I am to see what happens when the green line finishes out, or at least to show you how to do, huh? Okay, we'll let this reboot. Same concept here too. If you want to go ahead and eject that CD or that DVD, you can do that. That way there you won't see that press any key every time it reboots. It's doing a plug and play. It's getting ready. It's getting ready. Who's a good little computer? Get ready. Okay, so the first thing I get to do is choose my color sequence I want to use. Ooh, hot dog. Should we go with hot dog? Oh, no, hot dog doesn't have white or yellow. Remember hot dog? Anybody? We'll just, I'm going to take a conservative color here. We'll just do a little dark bluish. And we're going to give the computer a name. The name will be obviously Windows 8.1. I don't think it'll let me do a point. Nope. So just do Windows 8.1. I'm going to hit next. I don't ever use express settings, and this is just my rule in general with anything, because I want to know what's going on. Express settings is usually what gets additional toolbars loaded in Internet Explorer for you. Hey, you guys are all chuckling now, aren't you? You're like, yeah, no joke, Dale. Here's the network settings. It's asking basically if this is a public network or a known network, for example, a home or a work. And the reason for this is to find other networks, or excuse me, other devices and resources on the network. Yes, this is my work network, and it's going to actually go through and try to obtain an IP address automatically, but that's going to fail on me, and that's fine. I won't actually see that I'm a failure. Wow, I'm a failure. Yeah, folks, the jokes don't get any better. You're like, can I get a refund? Okay, so it's going through here and asking me as far as updates are concerned. I don't need to do any of my updates just because it's not hooked up to the internet. You can go through and just leave the defaults all across here. Here it's checking for my internet connection. I'm not going to have one. And the reason why it's looking for one is because Windows 8.1 likes to sync into or link into a Windows Hotmail or Outlook account so that all your desktop settings and documents can be saved in the cloud, and then if you move to another machine, that information will be there. And because of the fact that I don't have internet access, I'm just going to create a local account. My local account is going to be, yes, the wonderful B. Wayne. And our password, again, is Batman. And our password hint. This is my favorite one, is the hints, because people put in things like hero. And of course, if you look at B. Wayne and hero, I bet you could probably socially engineer this password. Or better yet, people put in here things like birthday. Because, you know, nobody would be able to guess your birthday or find that out, right? So the password hint, I'm going to just leave it blank, actually, and hit finished. Oh, they won't let me. So we will put in something stupid here, like hero. It's going to finalize our settings. Wow, how nice of them. They're going to go through and set things up for me. Hey, and I'm going to get a new app. And here I thought there was an app for that. And the colors are hypnotizing. Okay, yeah, let's start. Absolutely. Okay, so here's our desktop. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the annoying yellow background for myself. I'm going to come in here. I don't know, let's do something really crazy. And I'm going to select, I'm a big blue guy. I don't know why. There we go. Okay, so the other thing, and a lot of you guys are going, wow, Dale, that's so much less annoying. We're going to go through the same concept. We got to hook this into the network, and we can do this a couple different ways. I'm going to take the shortest way that I know of, and that is to come down here to the network adapter icon, right-click on it, and select to open the network sharing center. I'm then going to come over here to where it says the change change the adapter settings. And again, we have an unidentified network. We're going to go into properties. Hey, you've been here before, haven't you? Come into IPv4. And we're going to put in our IP address of 192. Dang it, stupid numlock. That almost sounds like a name I could call somebody, huh? Dude, don't be such a numlock. I'm going to do 192.168.0 dot. We're up to 20 now, correct? And again, we're going to do 192.168. Whoops, 192.168.0.10. Remember, 10 is our 2012 R2 box. I'm going to hit OK. Again, I'm not going to get any identification on that network, but that's okay. Now, anybody remember what we do next? Turn off the complexity, Dale. That's right. So I'm going to do that through the admin tools. I'm going to hit the Windows key. And again, this is where people go, oh, crap, I don't have a touch screen. How do I navigate this stupid thing? Trust me, just type what you want to do. Let's see. I want to go into admin tools. Now, the first time, I will say this much, the first time you should let the server, or excuse me, the computer settle for a while, because it does have to go through and search and index both programs and applications. The first time that you do this, it may take a while. You're going to actually want to let the machine kind of settle, because it has to go through and index programs, documents, all kinds of things, services, And so that's why you didn't see it pop up really, really quickly. But here it is, my admin tools. And look, there's the same console we've seen everywhere else. So don't let the Metro interface throw you for a loop. Again, this was located, to turn off the complexity requirements, was located underneath the local security policy. And remember, it was under our account policies, under passwords. But guess what? It's disabled. So think about that one for a second. Yeah. In fact, look at this one. This is a fun one too. Minimum password length. Yeah. I kind of, this is my love-hate relationship right now for Microsoft, because this is the way desktop home PCs come. Passwords aren't necessarily required, and they can be 1 or 2 characters long. No complexity. I wish, and by the way, when you join a computer to a domain, you may not see this, because when the computer joins the domain, there's actually a group policy object, or what we refer to as a GPO, that comes down from that domain controller and configures it so that complexity is required and configures all the other password length and password history options. So we don't need to configure anything here. Just be aware of that. Now, the one thing that Microsoft did do that was a big, huge security hole for us back in the XP days is that they said if any password was blank, that the account is now disabled. Back in the old days, the administrative account, its password was blank, and it was not disabled. Yeah, we'll talk about that one a little bit later on, too. Okay, so that's been done. We're going to now come in here and change the computer name. So I'm just going to right-click on my Start button and select System. And I'm going to come to Change the Name. And you'll notice here, as far as the name is concerned, Windows 8.1, it's because we did this when we initially installed. So that was kind of one of the changes they did for us. So we're doing okay there. What else do we need to do? Lower the firewall, Dale. Okay, very good. By the way, you're all starting to sound like Mickey Mouse. I'm going to hit my Start button and just simply type in firewall. And there's my link to the firewall. And we're going to come in here and just, again, similar interface. Just turn off the firewall. And then we're going to go and create the new users, Dale. That's right. And I'm going to do this again under my admin tools. There's actually a couple different ways. I'll show both of them to you here. This is our admin tools, but we'll go ahead and go back into Start and type in users. And you notice here I have a link to a add, delete, manage your users. This is a full screen Metro app. And look, they're giving me a nice little, hey, you can put your mouse down here and see how things are done, but we're not going to do that. So I can create a user account from here by selecting to create an account. The first user, we already created Bruce Wayne, so the next one we need to create is D. Grayson. Give him a password of Robin. And his hint will be Sidekick. We'll hit Next. There's his account, asks if it's going to be a child account so it can turn on some family safety features. This is only part of a home-based PC. Again, when you join the domain, you don't get that option. I'm going to hit Finished, and you can see there's the account. Now, let me show you how to get rid of this interface if you don't want it. I'm just going to come up to the top. You notice how the window came up. And in Windows 8.1, they actually gave us a Close button, thank heavens, or a Minimize button. If you're running Windows 8, you can just come up here and I'm going to grab it by doing a left click and dragging down. And you drag all the way down to swipe it away, and that turns it off. So again, and trust me, if you've ever played around with Windows 8 on a tablet, it makes total sense. But on a desktop, I don't do a lot of swiping with a mouse. Okay, so that was one way of creating an account. The other way is coming here into the computer management inside of the admin tools. And you can just do you can create your user accounts however you want. If you want to do it through a PowerShell, by all means, feel free to go through and do that if you'd like. Here are my users. You'll see that Dick Grayson's in here. Bruce Wayne. Hey, look, it didn't allow me to put in his full name. We set that up. So we can come in and edit this one and put in his full name of Bruce Wayne. There we go. Oh, and Dick Grayson. Wow, that wizard didn't do very good either. His full name is Dick Grayson. So let's create a new user account just by right-clicking. select a new user, and this will be H. Jordan, which is Hal Jordan. And his password is green because, yes, the Green Lantern, the first Green Lantern. Hit create. And then the next one is C. Kent Clark. Whoops. Kent. Password was super. Doesn't have to change. And we'll close that. Let's take a look here. Got all 4 accounts. Sweet! Okay, I'm going to want to go through and also turn off things like my screensaver. So we're going to go to screen. Again, just type what you want to do. Don't be afraid. Oops, saver. Turn it off or on. Oh, it's currently off. That's cool. And then I'm going to also just double check. I'm going to open up again. I'm going to type in, watch this, PowerShell. And I'm going to elevate this one up just for giggles, so you can right click and run as administrator if you'd like. You don't necessarily need to do this. I'm just going to, or you don't need to add it as, run it as administrator, but we're going to open up a PowerShell command prompt. I'm going to, again, change this up so you guys can see it when we're demoing. And we'll change our colors again. It'll be a black background, again, with our wonderful yellow text. And we're just going to simply do a ping. 192.168.0.10. Hey, we're working. And just for giggles, why not? 15. Hey, we're working. Okay, we're going to go ahead. I'm not going to exit this. I'm just going to clear the screen. And we're going to go ahead and minimize that. Okay, so that's how you set up a Windows 8.1 box virtually for our lab environment. Up next, we're going to fire up a Windows 7 box.